How's it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and today we are going to be continuing the Hellion twin turbo kit install on the Mustang. Last time we unboxed everything, got it all laid out, formed a game plan, and today we're gonna start installing it, and hopefully we can get the turbos mounted today. It's a lot of work, but it's gonna be worth it in the end because we're shooting for some big horsepower, and this is how we're gonna get it. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I just went inside and emailed myself the instructions. I briefly skimmed over at least the first few, and it seems like I've already gotten a lot of them out of the way. Now, my setup going from a Whipple to a twin turbo setup is going to be different than a guy going from NA to twin turbo. So, some things I do are going to be different, like I already, took apart most of the car because I had to get the Whipple out. But the first set of instructions is essentially remove your intake, remove your front fascia. There's a bunch of access panels that you got to remove. I probably actually have to remove more of mine down here. If you just follow the instructions, you'll be good. Don't think you know what the next step is, because that's how you go back and screw yourself up. And yes, I'm wearing a headband right now, because that means shit's about to get serious. Now the next thing I need to do is get the car in the air because we have to start removing the exhaust system. And one thing I can't advocate enough is just take your time. There's no rush. The kit's gonna get on eventually, so just take your time and do things thoroughly. If something doesn't feel right, don't force it. If something isn't clearancing, don't hammer it in. Just take your time, figure out what needs to change, and everything will be okay. That was a speech to myself, not to you guys. But yeah, I mean, you guys can listen to it too. All right, we got the car up in the air. I got my instructions right here, so we can go ahead and see and remove intake, remove all of the belly pans, remove the front fascia. All right, time to remove the exhaust. So it says remove K-member cross brace, remove rear driver and passenger O2 sensors, and remove the H-pipe. So let's get to it. So I'm gonna take you guys under my car so you can see my setup. So here's my headers, here's my X-pipe. I actually don't have secondary O2s because these totally functional cats, I guess, just didn't come with them. But so we're gonna actually remove the X-pipe as much as we can and get all of this out of our way. Ultimately, I haven't read ahead, but I'm guessing we're gonna start off by removing the headers once we get this H-pipe and X-pipe out of the way. I also have an aftermarket K-member from BMR, and this is going to make my life a lot easier because, as you can see, I have a lot more space under here to reach around area. So if you want a BMR K-member, use discount code Peacock7 when shopping. But yeah, let me see what I need to remove here to get this out of the way. Okay, so I have my exhaust dangling because my whole system is kind of tacked together. But if you look, I'm not sure if you can see it, I've already undone my O2 sensors and they're dangling right there. So I just have that ready for whenever we need to pull that out. But for you guys running stock systems, you'll be able to remove most of your exhaust, but I literally cannot. The next step after that is to remove your battery. I have a battery relocation, so I have it disconnected, but you are gonna wanna get your battery out of the vehicle. Next up, we have to disconnect the grounds from the passenger side strut tower, so I'm going to remove this one, and I'm also going to remove this as well. Now, we're not at the step yet, but I'm pretty sure we have to cut this off. Now, I've been reading ahead a little bit for the instructions, and my procedure is going to vary a little bit from the instructions that they provided because I have a Gen 3 swap, so a lot of this stuff, if this was a 2011 or 2014 car with a Gen 1 Coyote, their instructions would be very straightforward, but this is an 06 with a Gen 3, so a lot of the stuff I have is slightly different. Luckily, I don't think most of you guys have like a unique custom kind of setup like this, so your guys' job is going to be a lot easier, but for me, I'm going to have to figure out how to finesse this a little bit and get everything tucked out of the way. I've been hopping back and forth between relocating my fuel pressure regulator, which is going to be in this corner now. It's not bolted down, but it's going to be over here. I've been working on going back and forth and just seeing what progress I can make. But the steps I'm taking right now aren't going to apply to 99% of you guys. Unless you have this very specific setup, your job is going to be a lot easier. So once we get back on track with the instructions, I will go ahead and continue showing you guys the process. But for now, I need to make this custom setup work. Okay, so we're kind of back on track right now. We have everything loosened up. The instructions don't say to do anything with this just yet. They had us right now loosen up the motor mounts, loosen up and remove the steering rack bolt, and pry off the steering shaft. And now we're just gonna raise the motor up off of the motor mounts. Okay, so I have the engine supported. It is actually off of the motor mounts. Now we remove the motor mounts, and then after that we can finally remove the headers. You can see how much more room I have though to access the motor mount and everything. With the BMR tubular K-member, like, it just makes life a lot easier. Cool. Now that we have the motor mounts out of the way, we have a lot more room to access the headers. So let me go ahead and knock that out. It's gonna be really hard to set up a camera for you guys to see, so I'm just gonna handle it like a man. All right, we got the driver's side manifold out. Wasn't easy, but it wasn't necessarily hard. I've had worse. And the heat wrap actually held up pretty good. All of the scraping and stuff right now is probably from me removing it, because it's not like it's rubbing on anything inside the car. But yeah, now this side is all cleared up. We can throw in the turbo manifold, but there's a lot of heat protectant stuff that we have to throw on first. And I think we might have to bend the brake lines as well. So let me get all that squared away and I'll show you guys what we had to do. No way to really show this while I do it, but we have to remove the rear upper stud from the exhaust studs on both sides. They will both be replaced with a bolt. So rear upper stud, they say what bit to use. Pull it out gently, don't strip it, and it's gonna be replaced. All right, I got the rear upper stud out and the gasket to kind of show you guys it's this one, rear upper. So rear upper, just like that. Okay, now we have to remove the driver's side clip for the brake lines that holds it to the strut tower. So it's right down here. We gotta remove it completely. So now we get to play with some heat management stuff. So all of this stuff is gonna be utilized to just protect everything else that is not supposed to get hot. So right now we're gonna wrap some of the fuel lines. Now again, I have an aftermarket fuel system, so I have my fuel lines back there, but we're just gonna wrap what we can, protect everything we can, anything that is close. As long as it is wrapped and not touching anything, we're gonna be good. If it's wrapped and touching, that's a no-no. Do not do that. So we're gonna wrap the fuel lines, we're gonna bend the brake lines out of the way and wrap those as well, and just get everything nice and tucked out of the way. So this is what it looks like before. Everything is unwrapped, and now this is what it looks like after. And just like that, a lot of the stuff is heat shielded. Now, I might do some more. My system, again, is not the same as a 2011 to 2014, which is what this kit is for. So there's lines that I don't have and there's lines that I do have. I don't have AC, so they sent me more stuff to go ahead and wrap the AC lines. I don't have AC, so I have extra lines. So I'm going and wrapping pretty much everything I can that's gonna be in the vicinity on this side. So we did my fuel return, my fuel feed, my clutch line, which is down here. This one right there. I already have heat shielding going down the rest of it. And then we have my brake lines, and that goes all the way back. Now, I did have some aluminum tape laying around, and this stuff is great as well. I'm doing it towards the tips just as like a little finishing thing, just to make sure the shielding doesn't move at all. It's not 100% necessary, but when you're trying to be as safe as possible and make sure nothing is getting hot, this stuff can work great. So as for now, everything is looking good. This is my oil temperature sensor wire, and we're gonna figure that out later because I don't really have anything to do with that. But yeah, everything's looking good. Let's see what the next step is. So the next step is regarding the alternator. You're supposed to put some heat tape over the alternator lug. Now, my alternator is not in the stock spot, so I don't think I need to do anything here. I will probably need to do something eventually, but for now, we can skip that. Okay, so I was building the turbo feed really quick. This is part of it. I actually seem to have misplaced the rest of it. Ah, there it is. So essentially what you're supposed to do is take your stock oil pressure sensor, remove that, and install this. One side will go to the oil pressure sensor, and the other side is going to tee off into your turbo feeds. Now, I don't have a stock oil pressure sensor. So tomorrow I have to go get a fitting so I could tap off of my aftermarket oil pressure sensor, and then the good news with this is, since this is already braided, we can relocate this kind of wherever we want. So if we need to route the feeds a certain way, we'll have more flexibility in that sense. But for all of you other people, it's a lot more straightforward. Don't worry about it. I low-key wish mine had the stock location, but we got to work with what we got. But now we get to toss in the turbo manifold. So here is, I believe, the driver's side turbo manifold. So it's going to be sticking in our engine bay like that. And you guys don't know how excited I am. Like I am just itching to get this in. So let's go ahead and start. So here's the driver's side turbo manifold, and oh, she's pretty. Now we're gonna get these installed, and I may or may not take them off afterwards and go get them Cerakoted, but I want to get the kit on first, make sure everything is good before I go and make this super pretty. But yeah, let's go ahead and install it. Alright guys, check it out. We got the driver's side manifold fully installed. Now, don't be concerned right now. I know it's touching the brake lines. One, the engine is not lowered, so it is lifted way up, which is probably making it touch the brake lines. But two, we need to clearance it some more in a bit. We will, but let's finish up a little bit. I'm going to put back on the motor mount, and I kind of want to dry fit the turbo just to see what it all looks like. So let me go ahead and take care of the boring stuff. Wow, look at that. Oh my God, dude. Oh, it fits so good in there too. So we have a few ways to, you know, obviously change the angle, but it fits really good in here. I'm really pleased with just the dry fitment so far. I am not going to toss on the wastegates yet. I'm not going to put in the oil lines or anything like that. So we're just going to leave it as is. I don't think I'm going to test the downpipes just yet either, because the motor is still lifted up. So ultimately, I need to now do the passenger side, which is going to be a headache for me. But just check that out, man. That looks so good. Like, that really looks great. When I pop the hood now, dude, people are gonna be terrified to see that. That is so sick, man. Oh, I'm so hyped. I can't wait to get the other one, and I honestly can't wait. Now, since we do have one in already, I feel like this might be a good place to end, I guess, part one of the install. So we did the unboxing and the driver's side kind of install today. Tomorrow, I think we're going to go ahead and do the passenger side and try to figure out where all this is going to go. I think it literally just like rotates and tucks right here, but again, we'll have to see. But I'm super happy with that. Like, that, honestly, so far it's not that bad of an install. Like so far it's going pretty darn smooth. And I will say, putting on turbo manifold headers is a lot easier than those. It literally took me like 15 minutes to like actually tighten everything up. That was a pain in the ass. So yeah, I mean, that looks great. That looks amazing. So let me clean up my mess here. Damn, I look crusty as hell. Let me clean up my mess here. I'm just in a good mood, man. Like, this is just, I'm just gonna sit out here and just stare at this for like the next 30 minutes. But yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. Gonna try to get the other turbo installed and get the oil feeds and drains installed. And I mean, honestly, after that, it's boost controllers and, you know, downpipes and stuff, and we're almost ready to start it. I do need to relocate my fuel stuff, so we're not quite there yet. And I'm also adding the third pump. I'm waiting for some parts to arrive, but we're honestly not too far off. I say in a solid week or two, this should all be squared away. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we will continue the install tomorrow. Deuces.